The FA Cup. Now, what a good shout this is. From a club in the 7th tier of football, Lewes Football Club are calling for FA Cup prize money to be redistributed to lower league and women's clubs next season. Did you hear about this, Bob?
Yeah.
I immediately thought of you. In other words, that the wealth at the top of the game should be distributed further down the food chain, if you like. Just in the passing, the FA Cup prize money is going to be reduced, as I understand it, by almost half this season to about £15 million. What 7th tier Lewes Football Club want is those who win prize money in the competition, in the final 3 rounds of the competition, forgo it and redistribute it. Anyway, that's me just introducing this discussion, but let's take it further. Charlie Dobre is a club director at Lewes, and he joins us live. And Charlie, good morning. I think this is your initiative, isn't it?
Yeah, well, good morning to you. It's a club initiative, and we've been, as a club, we've been looking at the FA Cup for 18 months in terms of redistribution and reallocation using the prize money. Admittedly, till now, we've been focusing much more on the women's game. We also have a women's team in the championship and in the 2nd tier.
Yeah.
But I think COVID has just created a whole new level of crisis in football that means there is an opportunity to do a really significant change. And I think it's a great time to do it as well, apart from the fact that the money is urgently needed. But, you know, we're coming up to the 150th anniversary of the FA Cup, and wouldn't it be an amazing thing to, like, really rethink how we can work with the good old FA Cup?
Absolutely. Bob, thumbs up.
Yeah, it would, Joe, but you can see they're already getting their defence in early. They're already saying, after 2 seasons of record levels, the FA Cup prize funders return. Already they're crying poverty, wringing their hands. Oh, if only you'd asked us a couple of years ago. Listen, here's the problem, of course. The FA is a wonderful organisation. I'm sure they'd be fully behind it. But when you talk about the quarter-finals of the FA Cup, you're generally talking about Premier League teams, and I can see the entire argument. It's a brilliant argument.
Yeah.
They don't really need that prize money.
No, but
so why don't they do it? But listen, I love Lewes. They're a lovely club. They're a great community club, and for a couple of seasons they had the best programmes of any football club in the entire world. But surely, you must know in your heart the Premier League doesn't give a doesn't care about
a tinker's curse. That's what you're about to say. You know what I really like as well, though, Charlie? You're on the front foot here, because as a club, you're also calling on the government to supplement the deficit to take the prize money back up to 30 million, aren't you?
Well, listen, it's the most beautiful poetic outcome that can happen. As you say, the FA decided, and they are going to be losing, a lot of money because of COVID coming up, and we do have a lot of time for the FA. But they've cut about £14 million from it, and we kind of understand why. But we think, no, this is like the worst time to do it. So, in a nutshell, this is our plan. Basically, all it says is that for the quarter-final, semi-final, final of the men's FA Cup, okay, at the moment, under the current allocation, where there's a total of over £30 million prize money, at the moment, roughly that's about £14 million of that. Almost half of it goes to just those last 3 rounds. And last 5 years, it's always been a Premier League club. And why wouldn't it be? Of course it would be. So what we say is this. We say, let's take that £14 million and redistribute it back. And we've worked out round by round exactly how it can happen. But also, let's ask the government, the DCMS, Oliver Dowden, to match that by putting back in the £14 million that the FA have been forced to take out. Because
but this...
And can I just
go on, Charlie?
I want to just quote something at you, because, I do, we had the sports minister visit us, and I've got a lot of time for him, Nigel Huddleston, but it's really Oliver Dowden we're talking to, and I just want to quote back at him. When he gave the daily briefing on the 30th of May, when he announced that football, brackets Premier League, was coming back, he talked about 2 key tests, and to quote his exact words, it takes about 20 seconds. He said one of the tests was that the financial benefits of the Premier League returning would be shared throughout the entire football family and release much-needed funding to support clubs lower down, many of whom are cornerstones of the local communities. So all we're saying is, Oliver, keep your promise. Premier League, back him up. And FA, let's have a smart redistribution of this money, because clubs are going to go out of business without a shadow of doubt, without help.
Excellent,
Charlie, I agree with you 100%, but there's going to be other firms and business that can go out of business. The government will say, there's enough money going around in football for us to get involved. We've got other problems to solve. And on the redistribution, principally, Charlie, I'm with you. Morally, I'm with you. But if Lewes got to the 3rd round of the FA Cup and that was worth, say, a third round proper, and that was worth 600 grand to you, or £1 million. Would you redistribute that money to the 8th, 9th, 10th tier teams?
Well, listen, the beauty of this is that at the moment, no one knows who the 4 teams, just 4 Premier League teams will be affected by this, because you don't get money for losing the quarter-final. So once you've won the quarter-final, 4 teams are affected. The beauty is we don't know who they are yet.
But Charlie
didn't answer my question. I did say, would you redistribute that? If Lewis were lucky enough to get
100%,
you'd redistribute that to
100%. There you go. There you go. Charlie said he would.
And I'll tell you why. Let me tell you why. 100% we redistribute it, because what we understand is that the reason the Premier League is Premier League is thanks to 150 years of football family history. It didn't happen overnight. Okay, they didn't earn it all themselves, and it is a family. And just because an awful deal was done in 1992, what we see now is there is a complete and very dangerous imbalance of wealth within football that will topple football, because
Charlie,
this redistribution, clubs will go.
Charlie,
teams don't like it when that happens.
This is dripping pan talk. It's the same talk we have at the Brea Stadium. It's the same talk we have in League Two. We had in the Conference. But you know as well as I do, the Premier League don't think that. The Premier League are international, multinational businessmen who really don't consider themselves part of any family at all. Even the Premier League doesn't think of itself as a family. They think of themselves as 3 families.
This is the FA. This is FA Cup prize money.
Listen. I just think, and maybe I'm naive. I don't really care, but I just think that's a bit. It's a bit harsh. Let's just look across the water, for example. It's not unprecedented. So the German Bundesliga, the 4 top clubs there, voluntarily donated £18 million to men's lower league and women's clubs. So there is precedent, in doing it. And what I'd say is, if the ultimate test is, it's not just altruism, there's actually self-interest in doing this. Because if you're in the Premier League and the rest of the ladder is collapsing underneath you, then actually, where's your future talent going to come through? You might have no problem now, but in 5 years' time, you'll have a big problem. And your prices will go up because your supply of players will go down, so your pricing will go up because you'll have to buy players in from abroad even more.
So you're absolutely right.
I'm amazed that you're not backing Charlie.
I back him 100%. I back him 100%. I would stand beside him at the barricades to make this happen. But I'm an old cynic, and I've worked here long enough to see how the Premier League
They will say we've got our own problems because our revenue stream has come down. And everybody, what happens in times of adversity, they look after themselves.
But we have a secret weapon, can I say as well? Our secret weapon is, at the beginning this week, 6 cupcakes landed on the doorstep of the top 6.
Well, there you go.
And the head of the FA to try and make genuinely.
That's clinched it.
We delivered cupcakes for them, and if that doesn't do it, nothing will.
Oh, that's clinched it, Charlie. Well done, Charlie. Magnificent initiative. Honestly, we back you on it. I mean, we will carry this campaign on with you. We stand side by side with you at Lewis, and let's see if this can come about, Charlie.
No reason why not. I mean, we need the backing of people like you and the backing of the media. Otherwise, they will just wait for it to go away. Let's not let it go away. We need your help.
Charlie, leave 6 cupcakes at the reception of the news building, would you? We're just beside the Shard. Those are just for Bob. If you could leave another 2 for me and Perry, that would be good. Bob's record's actually 8 in one sitting. But,
wow.
Charlie, well done. Well done, mate.
Pleasure.
Charlie Dobry.
Cheers, Charlie.
Thank you,
Director
Charlie.
of Lewis Football Club.
What a great club that is. It really is. I go on to put in... If you sit down and put in Lewis FC match programmes, go online, images, and you'll have a fantastic day looking at some of the greatest artwork.
Brilliant. And the redistribution of wealth down the food chain. We got to back them.
Yeah, but they won't back it because the 4 top teams who are eligible will say, oh, hang on, the FA can't tell us what to do. It's our money, we're keeping
Nonsense. There's nothing we can't do. We're Talk Sport.